We're not talking about keys here tonight. We're going to talk about security. Good evening, kids, adults, children, grandparents. You might be a dog. You might be a cat. Or anything in between. Or maybe you're an inanimate object. Right. Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about security tonight. And I know that sounds really exciting, but see, I had a little mishap last night. Yes, me, Nerd Ngong, had a little mishap last night browsing the web. No, I was not browsing Bible stories. See, I used to have an old MP3 player. I don't have it anymore. It was an iRiver Clicks, and I was curious if iRiver still existed even, because I don't really hear of them anymore. And I was also secondly curious if they have an iRiver Clicks, which they do not anymore, by the way, at least on the website. But apparently, their website was compromised or something, because I was browsing their website and going to view their products, and all of a sudden I get a lovely pop-up message saying that you need to check your computer for viruses. So here's going to be my first tip. If you get a message while browsing the web asking you to check your computer for viruses, make sure that it is legit, and most likely it won't be. If you look in the title bar of the little message pop-up, you'll see a web address. If you see a web address, it's not legit. It's not your antivirus. It's some advertisement or some Trojan or virus or malware or spyware. Yes, how pleasant. So anyway, I saw that, and I knew right away it was not legit. And it says, do you want to check your computer for viruses? Yes, no, and then there's the close button. Well, obviously I knew it wasn't legit, so I hit the close button. Well, it happens to be one of those dialog boxes that it doesn't matter what answer you choose, it's going to do it anyway. Yes, pleasant, huh? So it goes ahead, and here comes this fake Windows XP-like screenshot of it pretending to scan my computer for viruses, which I knew was fake, so I try to close it immediately. And before I even can close it, my antivirus is warning me that this is a problem. It also came up with a dialog box asking me to save a file to my hard drive so I can install it. No, that didn't happen. I knew better. I guess the next time I will kill my web browser when I see one of those, as opposed to even trying to click on the dialog box, even though it will probably restore the session and I'll never get rid of it. So what I want to talk about then is security. Keep your computer up to date. Don't put up or put off updates. Do them. If it asks you to update, do it. Make sure it's legit. Make sure it's not a website telling you need to update your antivirus. It should be your antivirus itself telling you to update. Another word of warning is if you ever receive an email from Microsoft asking you to run an update on your computer, don't. Because Microsoft will not send you an email to tell you to update your computer. Should you ever get some kind of email like that, it is a virus or something that's not good anyway. So don't do it. If you get an email from Microsoft, delete it. Well, if it's regarding updating your computer, of course. It could be legit if you're subscribed to Microsoft in some way, shape, or form. But if it's asking you to do an update to Windows, it's bogus. Don't do it. Let's see. Adobe Flash Player, that's a big one. Keep that up to date at all times. If you get a thing asking you to update Flash Player, do it. Keep your Windows up to date. Keep your Mac OS X up to date. Keep your Linux up to date. I don't care which operating system you're running. Keep it up to date. If you've got Microsoft Office or another Office product such as OpenOffice.org, keep those up to date. Antivirus, definitely keep that up to date. Keep that current. And if you have purchased antivirus software and it's expired, get a replacement or a new subscription immediately. Don't put it off. With that being said, this is just my own preference. I have not bought antivirus in probably 6 or 7 years. There's several free antiviruses out there that are very good. And I happen to be running Microsoft Security Essentials, and it's actually what caught that bug last night, and it just picked right up on it, did its job. And it's clean, it's not slow, it's really light, and it seems to be working. Because it actually successfully found a problem there. Also AVG, free. I think it's version 9 now. But they have one you can buy, and then they have the free AVG. It works real well. Avast, that's another one that works real well. The only thing with Avast is it does not do scheduled scans. The free one doesn't. The Avast Home, it does not do scheduled scans. And you have to still register it or get a product key for it every, I think it's like every 15 months or something like that. You have to resubscribe it. It's free to do it. You just have to get a product key and copy and paste it into Avast. A word of note with most of those free antivirus programs is they are not for corporate use, they are for personal use. Generally, if you're going to have a corporate antivirus, you're going to have to buy it. So yeah, keep that going. Anti-spyware software, if you have Windows Defender, keep that up to date. Security Essentials kind of takes over for that if you're running Microsoft Security Essentials. And then not only have that, you need to have probably more than one anti-spyware program. There's LavaSoft Adaware, there's SpyBot Search and Destroy, and then there's probably 15,000 other ones out there. There's some other popular ones. There's some you can buy, there's some that are free. And there's some that are free or you can buy with more features. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you have to buy a free antivirus program. If you are the kind that likes to buy it, go for it. But my own preference is just the free ones work real well. And you don't have to resubscribe and pay for a new subscription every year. But that's me. If you like to buy your antivirus, go for it. Now, something that's brought up is, well, I have a Mac. I won't get viruses. Well, don't say that. You can. In fact, Safari has a lot of vulnerabilities in it, and so I wouldn't be so confident to just go willy-nilly on your Mac, because the main reason, in my opinion, and this might start up a heated discussion, but in my opinion, the only reason why Macs don't normally get as many viruses, which they do, but not as many, is because they aren't as popular. Because Windows is targeted. Because really, architecturally, Windows does have pretty decent security. Linux still probably would beat it out, as well as Mac OS X. But it's not as secure as you would like to believe it is, and as Apple would like you to believe it is. I'm not anti-Apple. I am a PC. I am a Mac, and I'm even a Linux. Very occasionally, anyway. I slightly use it. Well, Linux user. I use all three of them. They all three have their pros and their cons. And I have a Mac versus PC tip for later down the road. So I'm not going to get into that too much right now. Yeah, keep everything secure. Password protect your stuff. Also refer to my password tip. It will help you with some of that. Let's see, run your virus scans regularly. Keep your web browser up to date as well. If you're like running Firefox, right now I think it's at version 3.6 at the time I'm talking about this. Probably tomorrow it'll be version 4. But keep your web browser up to date. Make sure there's no security loopholes in it. And another good website that a friend of mine tipped me off on. Let me find it for you. It's called Browser Security Test. And the web address is http://bcheck.scanit.be/bcheck. It's actually not a bad little thing. I've tried it on a couple of machines. You hit the start the test button, and basically it's going to try to crash your web browser. So make sure you're not doing anything else on browsing the web while you're running the scan, because your web browser could crash. But it tries to crash your web browser. And basically what it's doing is trying to make sure that there are no security loopholes on your computer. Now, it will not actually harm your computer should it find one. But that's what it's going to try to do, is crash your web browser. And if you have multiple web browsers on your computer, do it on all of them. Don't just do it on one. Try if you have like Firefox and Google Chrome and Internet Explorer, do it on all, run it on all 3 of them. Don't run it on just one. But run the test. It'll check your computer. It'll see if, or it'll check your web browser, and it has other things it checks too. Your QuickTime, it'll make sure it's working correctly. I think it might even check your Flash player in some cases. I'm not sure. But it'll also check your web browser, make sure it's secure and safe and up to date. And it'll just find some of the common vulnerabilities of some of these web browsers, and it'll try to exploit them. And in fact, at some point in time, your antivirus should even wave a red flag when it's running. And don't panic if it does. That if you get a red flag waving from your antivirus while you're running this test, then your antivirus or security software is working the way it should be, and it's picking it up that there's something not right. So that's also going to be a test for your antivirus. So it's a good little tool to use. But yeah, but like I said, it'll try to crash your web browser. It could very well crash it if you're not up to date and secure. So don't have anything else going while you're trying to do this. Let's see. If you have anti-spyware software, of course, run it all the time. Don't slack off on that. Make sure it's up to date. But basically, the best thing you can do for your machine, make sure everything's up to date. Most of that's automatic. It'll do it on its own, but just ensure that your computer's up to date with everything, basically, and then it will help you. Of course, it can also, the users themselves can also create some of the problems. So be smart on what you're doing on your computer. Don't always just say yes to everything you get asked on the computer. Sometimes it is a good thing to say no. Sometimes it'll harm you if you don't say no. Okay, well anyway, we're about running out of my 15 minutes, so this is Nerd Ngong, and I approve this message, and I don't have a quote of the day or an acronym because I haven't thought of one. So anyway, bye-bye.